Alright, so I was reading the comments and I got really sad. I did the review of Witcher and I thought to myself, this is a great show. What could possibly be the problem with it? All I'm going to see in the comments is nothing but people talking about wanting to see the show, having seen the show, what they thought of the show, this, that, the other thing, things they liked, things they didn't like. Right? People talking about the games, books. There's going to be fun conversations about the stuff. What do I see instead? There's people bitching that they put all these black people in the show. Alright, look. First of all, I haven't read the books. I don't know a lot about the fucking the history of the world and shit. Like, I know what you get out of Witcher 3. If it's something that's in Witcher 3, most likely that I know that. I know that that's the thing. Right? Like in the show, for example, slight spoiler for those of you, it's not really a spoiler. The Ciri winds up with a bunch of dryads, right? In the show, Ciri leaves the dryads with somebody, not Geralt. In the fucking video game in Witcher 3, Geralt says, that was the first time I met Ciri. I got her away from the dryads. Right? Like, so I noticed that there's slight differences between the show and apparently what's in the games. And I imagine what's in the books. Somebody said that the show is much closer to the books than the game. And I'm like, fair enough. I haven't read the books either. So, right? Like, I'm kind of going into this with no real preconceived notions about things. Like, here's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see Geralt with fucking yellow cat eyes. Because Geralt has yellow cat eyes. And I wanted to see him with white fucking hair. Right? Wearing, some kind of slimming black armor. Right? Kind of Witcher style. And I wanted him to be wielding two different fucking swords. I wanted him to be wielding a steel sword and a silver sword. I wanted there to be mutants, right? Because he's a mutant, and mutants is a thing. I wanted there to be monsters. I didn't really care. Me personally, I wanted to see, obviously, the fucking monsters that I know from the game and shit. But I didn't really care. They had an Ekimora. It was like the first thing he fights is Ekimora. And I'm like, I don't know what the fucking Ekimora is. I've never fought an Ekimora. And then I'm looking at the thing going, never fought one of those fucking things. So, already, the first fucking monster, I have no idea what it is. Never seen it before. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I just want to see them fighting monsters. I don't really give a shit if they're fucking all the same monsters that I fought. Probably would be boring to see him fight all the same fucking monsters I fought. I've already seen Geralt kill all the monsters I've already killed with him. Right? You know what I mean? So, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see sorceresses and magic and shit. You know? Nilfgaard. This is like Velen, these kind of names I would like to be thrown in there. And other than that, I was just kind of like, I want to see like the Witcher stuff. You know what I mean? Race was never really a part of it. And then as I'm playing the game, I'm thinking to myself, I saw one succubus that looked like she was black. And other than that, everybody's white. So I'm kind of like, they put some more colorful people in it. Like, I don't know. But like, race was never a thing. It never played into the Witcher storyline. As far as I know, it was always monsters that were killing humans, and then the humans hire the Witcher to kill the monsters. But the Witcher's a mutant, so humans don't like mutants. Like, that's kind of the conflict there. There was never a racial angle with any of it. Well, I guess, like, It's not really race, it's more species, like the elves. The elves and the humans don't get along. But that's like a species thing. You know what I mean? Like skin color or fucking, it was never a fucking thing. Like, it was never a fucking thing. So, like, what does it matter? Like, does it really matter? Like, people are saying, well, Frangilla's black now. Okay. And she was white before. And that played zero matter in her fucking character. Didn't have anything to do with her character development. Her character didn't have anything to do with that. Like, she doesn't come from a place that must absolutely be no black people. Why? Just, why? Like, what difference does it make? It doesn't make any difference to the story. It's not adding a new element that was previously not there. They didn't make it matter. Like, it wasn't a thing. And the chick that played for Angela was good. I thought she was great. You know what I mean? Like, if it would have been just, well, we just grabbed some random black person and threw him in a fucking costume and said, you're playing this fucking role with lines. Here you go. Here's your script. And she sucked ass, and they were like, well, we just wanted to have a black person. I'd be like, fucking really? You couldn't have found a good black actress? You know what I mean? Like, that would have been my first thought instead of, oh, you had to have a black person. But again, like, I watched it and, like, Frangela was black, and I was like, I don't remember Frangela being black. And then I was like, I don't remember anybody being black. And so I'm like, well, okay, well, whatever. So now we got a black character, whatever. And then Triss is I didn't really think that she was. I thought she was a white girl. Whatever. Apparently she's not a white girl. But I'm like, well, she still kind of has red hair. You know, and I'm kind of like, I just really wanted to see Triss with red hair because Triss had this bright fucking red hair, this candy-like red hair. That was kind of Triss's thing. Oh, and she's a sorceress, and guess what? The Triss in the show is a fucking sorceress. And she kind of has red hair. It's a little bit more realistic red hair than in a video game, but whatever. She kind of got red hair, and I'm kind of like, whatever. I like the actress. I've seen her in other things before. She's a good actress, so I was kind of like, oh, she's Triss. That's cool. And I didn't think to myself, but Triss is pure white. Like, because that was never a thing. Now, in the past, some people might be going, well, you've had problems with this shit in the past. Yes. When people were complaining that Danny Rand, Iron Fist, was being played by a white dude and not an Asian guy because he does kung fu, I thought, first of all, I thought that was kind of racist. Right? To say this role should be played by this race of person because of this racist trope, otherwise it's racist. That's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing with me. As far as I'm concerned, if you're saying it's racist both, like, if you're saying it's racist the one way, I don't really buy that, but whatever. But I'm certainly saying it's racist the other fucking way, so it's like, what, you know. So, first of all, I thought the premise was ridiculous. It'll be less racist if we cast an Asian guy, because don't you know all Asians do that kung fu. Non-Asians don't do that kung fu. So, yeah, like, the premise for the complaint I thought was fucking ridiculous. But beyond that, Danny Rand is a white kid that comes from a rich family in New York. They get on a plane, they go flying somewhere, the plane goes down in the magical city of Kunlun. And Danny Rand, white rich kid from New York, learns kung fu from all the Asian people in Kunlun, and he becomes the immortal Iron Fist because he earns it. Right? And then he comes back to America, right? And it's a whole thing of him trying to take over, retake his corporation, and, the family riches, like that becomes he comes as a monk into New York, a monk that's worth millions, but he's not really, because like that's part of his fucking character. Like, that's a part of the character. It's a fish out of water type thing. He's, and now he's a white guy in New York that knows kung fu. Like that, like that was a part of the character. Was it racist to make that a part of the character? I don't think so. I think it's a little bit more racist to go, well, they should have cast an Asian because only them Asians do kung fu. I think that's a little bit more racist to me. You know what I mean? So, but, like, this kind of a thing, I don't care. Like, it doesn't, why should it matter? What difference does it really make? Like, if Geralt was black, I'd be kind of like, that's a little bit weird. Like, I'd probably roll with it if it was like Idris Elba, because Idris Elba wouldn't really have to do a voice. He could just talk like Idris Elba, and like, yeah, like he could just kind of rap a little bit, and this, so, like, that would have been kind of cool, but, like, Geralt's not a black guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, that's good, because it's more, like, you're getting, I don't know. But I would have rolled, like, again, Idris Elba, I would have rolled with it. I would have been like, well, that's kind of cool. Like, that's an interesting take on it, at the very least. And if it would have been the same exact fucking show, but with Idris Elba as Geralt, race was never really a thing of it. So, honestly, I wouldn't, as long as he still had the yellow cat eyes and the white hair, I would have fucking totally been fine with Black Girl. No. I really don't think I would have given a shit. Because that was never a thing. I would have been like, that's weird that they decided to change his race, but I love Idris Elba, so it's fucking great. Like, that would have probably been what I said. Because, yeah, it was never really a part of his character. So, yeah, a bunch of, like, racist people notice that black people are now in things that were previously not black people. And so they decided to write articles about how awesome it is that black people are just stealing white people's jobs. I'm like, whatever, man. Oh my God, dude. If that kind of shit, you know what? Honestly, if that kind of shit is what it takes to make them happy, I don't care. I thought it was a great show. I thought the chick that played Francella was great. I thought the chick that played Triss is great. I loved the whole show. I thought it was a fantastic show. My only complaint is that a lot of people are probably going to wind up turned off by the first season because they're going to be like, I don't fucking get what's going on here. And they're going to not realize the time fucking shit. So, like that's my only complaint, and it's more of a complaint like on their behalf. Like, people might think this sucks, and I expect that this is going to be a really good show going forward because it was a really good fucking, like, if you know what's going on, a really good show. But you got to get past episode 4 or 5 to really get into it, and a lot of people are going to get turned off at episode 3, going, I don't fucking understand what's going on. So that was my only complaint, is they might have fucking shot themselves in the foot, and I don't want it to not get signed for another season. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see this whole fucking, they're talking 7 seasons. I want to see it all. I don't want them to at some point go, well, the fucking first season, man, people just didn't watch it. I don't want it to wind up like Firefly, that they just promoted fucking poorly and released really shittily. And people got confused because the timeline was fucked up because they were releasing episodes out of order. And 1 season and a movie. I don't want to do 1 season of Witcher and a movie. Because goddamn it. It would have to be a movie fucking trilogy. But, so yeah, that was my only complaint. Is that they're running the Firefly risk. Other than that, great fucking show. And like I said, the racial stuff, the only comment I thought was, oh, Frangilla's a black girl. And I was like, I don't remember Frangilla being a black girl. And I was like, I don't remember anybody being a black girl. That was my only thought process about race for the whole show. Beyond that, I thought it was a great show. So, if you're watching that show and thinking to yourself, yeah, look at all these black people taking all these white people's jobs, good for you if that's what you need in your life, but I need it to be a good show. So, I guess we both win. I guess that's the moral of the story. As long as you have people that can achieve and do their job with a degree of excellence and professionalism, right? As long as you have people with merit, good things can come in all directions.